Welcome back to another edition of Our City. We are now 2 weeks removed from the end of Hurricane Sandy and a couple of days removed from the northeaster that came through the city of Elizabeth on Wednesday and Thursday of last week. I hope all of you have remained safe, and I thank all of you for your patience. Please keep in mind, as of last week, there were 14,000 customers without power, and they were restoring customers through the week. And some of you may have lost power during the northeaster. PSE&G has people on the ground working to restore power every single day. If you have any questions, you can call my office at 908-820-4170, and I will update you on the progress that PSE&G is making, or when, or possibly if they will tell me, when they will get to your neighborhood. If you were impacted by Hurricane Sandy and require FEMA assistance, you may call 1-800-621-3362 or go to the website www.disasterassistance.gov, and they will have an application process that you can fill out for direct FEMA aid. Our Elizabeth Police and Fire and Public Works crew continue to remove trees and branches and leaves from your neighborhood, as well as make sure that whatever downed wires are out there, that you are protected. Please stay away from any downed wires. Please call the fire department. Please notify PSE&G of any downed wires immediately. And please keep your children away. As we approach the Thanksgiving week, which will be next week, there are a lot of people who have a lot of things to be thankful for. And especially all of us who have survived these last two storms here in the city of Elizabeth. And I'd like to welcome to my show today a teacher at the high school, Miss Patty Aponte. Patty, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And a senior at Elizabeth High School, a student, Miss Lisa Torres. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first of all, the two of you are involved in what's called Paint the City Green.
Yes, we are.
Now, I have a green tie on for that purpose.
Yay!
But it doesn't match your green ribbon.
No,
So-
it doesn't. So we're going to have to get you a shirt to match.
But it's close.
It is close.
I wanted to wear green to make sure I didn't know the exact color green. But Paint the City Green, and Patty, maybe we could start with you.
Okay.
And first, tell us a little about yourself. You're a school teacher here in the city.
I am an English teacher at Johnny Dwyer Technology Academy. I have been there now this is my 5th year at Johnny Dwyer, or we like to refer to it as Jetta. This is my 8th year in the entire district, though. I started out at Hamilton Middle School. I teach currently 9th grade English and 11th grade English. In addition to that, I am the yearbook advisor. I am the affirmative action chairperson. I am the chairperson for the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. And I do lots of stuff around school just to kind of, help the kids out as best I can.
It's good. And are you an Elizabeth girl, born and raised?
I most certainly am. I was born at General Hospital. I grew up most of my life across the street from St. Mary's Church, directly across from the rectory. I haven't been out of Elizabeth very long, but Elizabeth is home, which is why I stay. You can take the Elizabeth girl out of Elizabeth, but you really can't make her stray too far. It's where my heart is.
Well, Lisa, you're an Elizabeth girl too, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little about yourself. You're a senior in high school.
Yeah, I was born here in Elizabeth at General as well, and I lived in the same house all my life. So, yeah.
And what grade are you in now?
I'm a senior.
And what's your favorite subjects? Is it English with Miss Aponte?
I haven't had her as a teacher.
Actually, never been my student.
This is a good story then.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but English is my favorite subject.
But you've never had Miss Aponte as a teacher?
No.
Okay.
She spends a lot of time with me, though.
Yeah.
And
Always in
she's an
her
early
room.
dismissal student, as a matter of fact. So she gets out after 8th period, correct? Mm-hmm. And 9th and 10th period, I don't have classes. I'm done. But I'm always in the room.
So what does early dismissal mean, Lisa?
That I get out of school before 4
For
o'clock.
what? Why though? Why does some
I have
early?
all my credits.
Oh,
So I get the privilege of leaving out earlier.
because you've
But
been
she
a
never
good
does.
student.
Huh?
Because you've been a good student
Yes.
the last 3 years, in other
Yes.
words. So therefore, you get out a little bit early.
But she never leaves early.
No.
You never leave early.
I
No,
always
she
go-
ends up in D152 pretty much every day and spends a good hour and a half or more, working on yearbook stuff or working on other things that we're just doing in the building.
So Lisa, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers.
2 older brothers.
Yeah.
So what do they think of your energetic attitude here?
They actually like it.
Were they 2 guys who stayed in school longer?
Yeah, actually, my brother was in the yearbook staff too in St. Patrick's High School, and he was also very involved. He was on the basketball team as well. They both were.
Okay.
And they were also into school, so it's like me
so
following.
they've encouraged you to,
yeah, it's like me following in their footsteps.
Good for you, Lisa. Now, Patty, why don't you tell us what Paint the City Green means?
Do we have enough time?
We do. We have a whole half hour.
Great, good,
And
okay.
you're not a shy individual.
No, not at all.
No.
No.
And I don't think Lisa is either. Between the two of you, you'll probably chat up a storm about Paint the City
Yes,
Green.
yes. Well, Paint the City Green is going to be taking place on Sunday, November 18th. And unfortunately, I'll tell you, just very quickly, the idea for Paint the City Green came from, we had a walk for the NephCure Foundation. NephCure Foundation is an organization that raises awareness and does research for 2 very specific kidney diseases. They are focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, if you can say that one, or FSGS, and nephrotic syndrome. My son, LJ, was diagnosed with both nephrotic syndrome and FSGS this past summer. So in a way of keeping some control over my son's life and my life, because at the time when he was diagnosed, all that control was taken away from me, I had to do something positive. I always have to find the silver lining. So I signed up to do a walk, and the walk's in Pennsauken, New Jersey, and I enlisted 150 to 200 students to come down with me. We did a field trip. My school has 1,000 kids approximately, and so many more wanted to come, but they couldn't. I could only take so many kids. So because I couldn't take all of them to the walk, I decided to bring the walk to them. So we're going to have, everything really started with that walk. And we are going to have a walk on November 18th, and that's where Paint the City Green started. As you can see, there's a green ribbon on my shirt. The kidney disease ribbon is green. That's
Looks like the cutout on your shirt is a kidney or a kidney bean. Is that?
It is.
Is it designed that way?
It was done that way on purpose. So we've got the little kidney in there, so you can see that it's kidney. The kidney disease color is green. I put on here FSGS in 2012, so that everybody can always remember that this is kind of when all of this started. On the back of the shirts, it actually says Team LJ with the number 11. That's my son. That's his number. He's been playing T-ball now for the last, he'll be going on his 3rd year, and he picked number 11 from the very beginning. So we put, it's all about LJ. But the whole idea of it really started with that walk. We wanted to bring it here to Elizabeth. But Paint the City Green is about a lot more than just raising awareness. And, if we do end up getting donations and funds, great. If we don't, we still raise awareness. It's about more than just NephCure and the green ribbon. Lisa can actually help out a little bit more on what green stands for.
You're turning over the microphone to Lisa.
I am, just a little, because you know what? She's great. My kids, I can't speak highly enough of them because I have really fantastic kids. She knows so much that, I think it's a great idea for her to tell me.
Well, we got green because, the kidney disease is the color green. And we also picked green because our school, we wear green as a uniform. And as the business aspect, green money, and green just...
City of Elizabeth.
Yes, it was
right. Voted top 50. 5 years ago?
5 years, and one of the top 50 greenest cities in this country.
Yes.
Popular Science magazine, right? Exactly. So it really kind of incorporates, I'm an English teacher. I love symbolism. I will layer symbolism like crazy. So I really, Paint the City Green really kind of encompasses all of those things. It's the kidney disease ribbon. It is the fact that Elizabeth was voted one of the top greenest cities in the country, which I'm extremely proud of, being it's my hometown, of course. Of course, the revitalization of the businesses in Elizabeth, where we want to continue to show that growth of business, with green being the color of money, obviously. And of course, my students are so invested and so involved. They wear green and black, and clearly I've got green and black going on. So I want it to be about them, and about them, understanding the wonderful nature of our city, and really kind of putting something back and giving back to the city, and as much as the city gives back to them. So Paint the City Green encompasses all of that. As I was saying before, which I don't think we mentioned completely, it is going to take place on November 18th. It does kick off with a walk for NephCure Foundation. The registration will begin at 8:30 in the morning, and the walk is going to start at 10:30. There's 2 routes right?
Yeah,
We've
2
decided
routes.
that we're 2 routes. One is 1 mile for the people who can't walk for a significant distance, and the other is approximately 2.5 miles.
I'm in for the 2.5 mile.
Good. I'm holding you to it.
I am.
Okay.
But Lisa, I want to ask you, did you walk in Pennsauken?
Yes, I did.
And how long was that walk?
I don't remember how long.
I think it was a
like
3.5 mile
But
walk.
it was extremely long.
It was a long walk.
Yeah.
It was beautiful though.
Yeah, the
it was
park was
very.
really nice.
It was at Cooper River Park down in Pennsauken, and it was almost reminiscent of Warrenco, but different. You know, it was nice to get the kids out of Elizabeth and out of the area to kind of see other things as well. But I think it also brought a greater appreciation to them for what their town and their city, you know, what their city has to offer, because I don't think you really realize it. You know, you play that the grass is always greener on the other side, and then when you're on the other side, every so often you kind of glimpse back and you go, wow, you know what? If I water that grass over where I'm at already, it's going to be just as green.
Now, Patty, one of the things that's important, you said it was important to you, naturally, because your son was diagnosed with this disease,
Yes.
and you've taken a real negative in your life to turn it into a positive on an
Absolutely.
education awareness. So, Lisa, why is this important in your life? Why are you spending time on this?
Well, because I've gotten real close to LJ, and he's just such a sweet little boy that it just caught my heart, you know. So that's why it's very important for me to see him well and, you know, bring awareness to that cause as well.
So have you enlisted any other young people your age, Lisa, to get involved in this? Or how is the word of mouth or Twitter or Facebook, or what are you doing, Instagram?
Oh,
what do you
yes.
do to get people your age interested in this?
I post 1,000 pictures on Instagram and hashtag Team LJ, and everyone asks, what's LJ, what's Team LJ? And then I just, you know, tell them everything, and they're like, oh, I want to be a part.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how I get it, and Facebook as well, you know, hashtag Team LJ.
So just on another note, is Instagram overtaking Facebook?
I think it is.
You think it is?
I like it better. It's more interesting.
More
It's all
interesting.
pictures.
Yeah, it's more pictures say 1,000 words.
It's for Twitter
so-
for people who don't. It's Twitter for people who don't want to write.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is. Mhm.
Well, when you get other people involved, I mean, you know, 17, 18-year-old young people, you know, there's a lot to do out there in your life. And so you're obviously motivated. How do you maintain motivation among some of the other young people to stay involved with this effort?
Well, just try to get them to come out and just help. Just come out. We'll have fun. We have fun doing anything
Yeah.
that we do. When we participate, we have fun. We try to make everything as fun as possible and make everyone enjoy it.
We're really silly and goofy.
Yeah,
We
especially
have a
with
lot of.
LJ. He's hilarious.
So the thing is fun, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
fun. That's what motivates. Yeah, and
With-
LJ.
If it's okay, we're going to do a commercial, and then we're going to come back and talk more about this. So please stay with us, all right?
We were not going
Please stay
anywhere.
with us after these messages. We'll be back more with Patty and Lisa talking about Paint the City Green. Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Patty and Lisa talking about Paint the City Green. Patty, why was the route chosen? And
Oh, great.
And what is the
Actually,
route?
The route actually is going to begin at Pearl and Bridge Street. We are going to go down to Broad and then make the right. So we're going to pass Trinitas Hospital. We're going to make the right. And then we are actually, the actual kickoff for the walk is going to be at the city's river trail, the Riverwalk, which we did on purpose. So as a lifelong Elizabeth resident, you know, who loves her city, I was a little sad at first when the little building that used to be in that spot went away, because that's where I went to preschool. It was a little green building, as a matter of fact.
you're dating yourself.
I am, but that's okay. That's where I went to preschool, but what took place afterwards and what was built there, I couldn't ever have imagined. And I really wanted to make sure that this walk showcased a lot of the beautiful points of Elizabeth and a lot of the wonderful points of Elizabeth. So we're going to start with the River Trail, and we're going to walk back to Bridge Street, turn to get down to onto Elizabeth Avenue. We're going to walk all the way down to Union Square, swing back around, go past Tommy and Jerry's, which is, you know, those local. We want to make sure
Should we stop
pass.
for hot dogs?
We could.
Okay.
LJ can't have any of those. Sodium's
No.
not good for him right
Right.
now with his kidneys. But we want to go past a lot of those local, notable businesses, restaurants, and things of the like for Elizabeth. So we're going to go past Tommy's and Jerry's. Potatoes and Cup might be good too, because I like those. Lots of ketchup. We're going to go down past Our Lady of Guadalupe Academy, and then we're going to turn. and then make the next right by Spiritos. Everybody knows Spiritos. And if you don't know Spiritos, you should know Spiritos. So we're going to go past. Then we're going to take that down to 4th. That's where the walk becomes either a 1 mile or a 2.5, because people have the option of getting to 4th, making the right, and just swinging back around over the bridge for South to get back to Pearl Street, which is where the rest of the event is going to take place. If they want to do the full walk, they're going to make the left, go past the Cosmos Italian Ices, again, yet another Elizabeth institution, take that all the way down to South 5th, past Matano Park, go over the bridge, which, by the way, is where the end of the river trail will be once it is completed. Then make the right onto Clarkson. We want to go past our football and baseball fields, the track as well, and swing back around to Pearl Street. So we want to go past a lot of those really great points of Elizabeth that some people just don't know about, but they should, again. So we're going for that reason. You know, we want to kind of, and the other thing of it is that it will also show that at the end, if you had just started at the river trail where it starts and gotten to Matano Park, it wouldn't have been a 2.5 mile walk. So a lot of people will realize that once that's done, it will be a nice, beautiful walk that will be a lot quicker to get to Matano Park if that's where they have to go.
Now, Patty, is this going to be a yearly event? Or?
I hope so. That's my hope. My hope really is that we take this event and we turn it into something that will become something annual that the city of Elizabeth residents, the community itself looks forward to, because that's kind of the whole idea of it. Is it's about the residents, it's about the local businesses, the local organizations, a lot of the historical organizations, to kind of show what Elizabeth has to offer. I grew up in Elizabeth. I know a lot of these things, so I can tell my students, but I can't tell everybody. So if we have this event, which is going to be a fun event for everybody that has all of this information, then the community gets to come together. The residents get to see who they can go to when they need help or they need information.
Who else is on the planning committee, Patty?
Mostly me as a start, but I start to delegate. Once I kind of get everything under wraps and get my ideas in, we delegate. I also have Darren Bryden, who I believe you know rather well. He is the man, as I will refer to him right now. And I have my students who are volunteering so much of their own time.
Now, the day of the taping of the show, you have a lot of students in City Hall.
I do.
Lisa, what are you doing over there in City Hall today?
We're all brainstorming and just jotting down notes, making posters.
Final details.
Yes.
Because the event is coming up. It's looming. It's coming close, and we want to make sure that we get the word out to everyone.
It's a week away, right? It's November?
Yeah, November 18th. We're less than a week away, actually.
Yeah. November 18th?
Yeah.
And it's 8 o'clock registration?
8:30 registration for the NEFCure, for
Right.
the walk. The walk, again, will start at 10:30. A lot of people can do their registration online. There is a way to download the registration form, so if they come with it completed.
Well, is there a fee? Is there a deadline to register?
No, the walk itself, there is absolutely no fee, which is something that I want to tell everyone. You know, if we raise $1 per person, we could raise a lot of money. If we raise 50 cents per person, still it could be a lot of money. If we don't raise a dime, we still raise awareness. No matter what, it's something positive. So there is no fee. NEFCure is not an organization that requires a minimum fee for a walk. So you can just sign up to walk and do the walk with us and just raise that awareness. The more people who are aware of it, the better chance we have of finding a cause and finding a cure for the FSGS. Because as of right now, there is no cure. There's no cure. We can only hope for long-term remission, but there is no cure, and there isn't even an FDA-approved drug that treats the disease. There is a standard course of treatment for FSGS. However, the statistics really aren't that great for it. And if the particular person goes through the standard course of treatment and they are not successful, they pretty much go into clinical trials, which turns you into a guinea pig. So we're just hoping that we can raise as much awareness. And if people choose to donate funds, fantastic. If they don't, that's really okay. It really is. We want that awareness out there because kidney disease and kidney failure at the end of it is really not somewhere I want to get to. And the reality is that most people diagnosed with FSGS go into kidney failure within 10 years of diagnosis. It doesn't put such a great prognosis. So we want to raise the awareness. We want to find the cure.
Now, it's an awesome task to do this. And so what else are you doing? You involved in other stuff too?
Well, I already said all the things that I do in school.
I know, but Lisa, were you involved in the anti-bullying thing last year? In the play?
No, I wasn't involved.
You weren't involved in that, but Patty, you were involved in the
I
anti-bullying
direct
play
yeah.
that I went to, right?
Yes, you did. You most certainly did.
We talked about how important it was to get along, and the play highlighted differences not only along ethnic cultures, but also differences along color, and it was a very moving play that you put on.
It was,
Guys.
and I must say,
speaking of raising awareness, you raised
absolutely.
awareness of an issue that people like Lisa have to deal with on a daily basis, right?
Constantly, actually. And just so those people who weren't there for it, we've turned that into something annual. Every year we have a student who writes a play that will be a part of our anti-violence week, which at Jetta we turned into a full month because we feel that there is really a need to have that much emphasis on tolerance and not bullying each other and having that acceptance. And you know, last year we had a student write the play. We actually had 2 students write the play last year who didn't get along. So it was ironic. They didn't get along, and they put together a really great show. And at the end of it, they did not get along.
So 2 people who didn't get along collaborated on writing
Yes.
the play, and then at the end of the play, they still didn't get along?
Nope, they did not. But they put their differences aside.
Maybe there'll be prom dates.
Well, they were 2 girls. They
2
could
girls.
be,
Oh,
but
no, I didn't mean it that way
weren't.
then. But maybe they'll wind up double dating or something. Maybe they'll wind up liking each other a lot. Who knows?
They could. They
could
could. You
become
know what?
best
I've
of
seen a
friends.
lot of that. I've seen a lot of it with the kids when they kind of take a step back from the surface differences. They realize that they're really
Maybe that's
more
why it was
alike.
so moving. Is 2 people wrote the play who didn't particularly care for each other.
It was great. You know what? I didn't even realize it because they worked so well together, and I was directing it along with a coworker of mine, Melissa Saporito, who's fantastic as well. She and I worked together, and I know that I did not know at all until the end, pretty much, that the 2 girls who wrote the play did not like each other. And when I say they didn't like each other, they didn't like each other.
So Lisa, what do you want to do after the senior year?
College.
Good.
Yep, college. Hopefully, medical school.
Good for you. I wish you well in all of your ambitions.
Thank you.
And Patty, I thank you for painting the
you.
city green, and I look forward to walking with you and raising awareness, as well as helping out the organization financially.
Fantastic.
And I look forward to seeing you on November 18th.
18th. Don't forget, too, just because we didn't mention it, there's going to be a car show. There's going to
Okay.
be music. There's going to be lots of stuff available, and it's really something that we
We
want
ran
to
out
be
of time for that, so
completely
I'm
free.
sorry we didn't
That's
talk
fine.
about that.
We could do that another time. You can mention it later.
For Patty Aponte and Lisa Torres, I'm Chris Bolwage. We're going to paint the city green on November 18th. Hope you'll join us for that walk. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.